why people should draft him. Here's how he closes the letter. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win big soon. Your reaction.
And he closed it with, it's tackle football. I'd draft the guy no one can tackle. I love this kid.
It was a really good letter.
It was a great letter. And I can't believe I'm saying all this because I think he's going to go to the Raiders, who are my arch rivals. But I'm high on the Raiders and Pete Carroll and Geno this year. So here's what I'll say. I'm going to your franchise do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I don't think he's going to win the Super Bowl next year. Obviously, no matter what team he goes to, I don't think he's going to fall to 31 of the Chiefs. However, it'd be a great fit, though. I mean, my goodness. Oh, yeah.
If he went to the Chiefs,
it would be a good fit. I will say this. And I know Coach thinks, I get over my skis a bit with young players. But young running backs very often come in, and it's like, oh, he's the fourth best running back in football. For a litany of factors, I think it is a fair bet that Ashton Jeanty rushes for more yards next year than Saquon does. Saquon coming off the 2,000-yard season, the massive workload, you add the 4 playoff games. I think Coach was on to something with, are the Eagles going to prioritize the pass game a little bit more, keep everyone happy? You know what I mean? They want it that way. They know they can go back to that. Whoever drafts him is going to be like, got to get our money's worth of this rookie contract. Got to run the damn football. So I love Jeanty. I love the letter. And I do think he can have a Saquon-like impact as far as in the rushing column. What's Brew all mad about?
I knew it.
What did he know?
I knew the take was going to come back to bite me. Nick hated, Coach, that I shine so brightly with my Saquon is going to have a Christian McCaffrey-type impact.
Coach, first to say it.
First on national TV to say that, all right? Then it became all the rage months later. Nick has been waiting to have some type of great running back. I didn't even bring up the Derrick Henry situation. Oh, no. I was right on that one.
Yep.
So he's been waiting to one-up me with some great running back take, but this ain't it.
I'm not trying to one-up you.
This is not it. First of all, I don't think he's going to rush for more yards than Saquon. I think Saquon's going to have another big year. I do agree with Coach that they probably will throw it more because A.J. obviously is going to want more passes and Devontae as well. But I think the difference in what he said about I'm going to do what Saquon did, Saquon didn't, even as great as he was, couldn't lift a bad team to anything special. All right, he did get them to the playoffs with Daniel Jones, but like Saquon went to a team that was stacked at every other offensive department, right? Every other player position and all that. So the league history is littered with all-time great running backs that haven't been able to lift teams to greatness. So I think even if he's great, he'd probably go to a bad team, and they'll be mediocre or bad even with him.
Yeah, look, I thought the letter was really nice. I think it's that part is great. I mean, is he going to be able to bring the Eagles offensive line with him? Is he bring the Eagles offensive line coach with him? Is he bring the 2 explosive wide receivers on the outside that'll merit some 7-man boxes with him? Probably not. And I think it's one of those things where when you enter in the league and you start making comparisons before you've even stepped on the field,
he doesn't like that.
It can be no, I don't like that. I think it's problematic. And when you look at Saquon, there were times in his last season where he had under 4 yards a carry, but he was playing against a little bit more, a little bit better defenses, game in and game out than what Jeanty saw. And I don't want to take anything away from him, but that's just the way it was. And when he faced Penn State, it wasn't what we all hoped it would be. We thought that he could potentially control.
But they couldn't block Penn State at all.
Well, the team he's going to probably is going to have some problems blocking as well.
It's not going to be a Boise State, Penn State gap.
Okay, let's talk about this because there's a lot. There's actually a bunch that I want to unpack here. I've been very consistent with my takes on, because a lot of these players now are getting all these sound bites and these quotes and interviews and whatnot. And very quickly, I'll just say I'm always conflicted with this because I love to hear it, but I'm also kind of like, say less. Like, from a fan perspective, outside perspective, for someone who's trying to make videos and stuff like that, I love it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. But if I was in Jeanty's camp, if I was, if I knew we were going to draft him and I'm working for the Raiders, I would be like, don't say that type of stuff. Like, I appreciate the confidence, and you need that confidence to help motivate you, energize you, give you that belief. Confidence is wildly important, but you don't always have to verbalize it. You don't always have to say it out loud. You know, like in my heart, and I'm not saying that this is true, but in my heart, I could say I'm better than Nick Wright and Bruce Hart, and I'm not saying I believe that, but like in my heart, I can believe that. But if I come out here and just say I'm better than Nick Wright and Chris Broussard, man, they don't got nothing on me. It just sounds weird. It just what have I done? I'm making some videos, like that's cool and all, but like, you know, I don't know. Even if I was on TV, like it's just kind of like why say it? And so I just think that like not all things need to be said out loud. And I'm really excited to see what Jeanty can do. I'm excited to see what he would do with the Raiders, and I think it would be, you know, an immediate positive impact with the Raiders. And but yeah, you know, and I totally can appreciate him being inspired by Saquon Barkley and what the Philadelphia Eagles do. Because again, you know, when you're an athlete, when you're trying to perform and win, like you're looking for inspiration from like honestly, like it comes from anywhere. It can come from other athletes. It can come from other sports. It can come from a song, a movie, a TV show. Like, you know, you just find it from anywhere you can. And obviously Saquon Barkley balling, doing that. But like, you know, I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and Eagles just did. Saquon Barkley just set the record, right, for the most rushing yards in a season, including playoffs. Absolutely dominant, you know, multiple 60-plus yard touchdown runs throughout the playoffs. Was, you know, was an absolute beast. And that is what you're going for. If you're Jeanty and if you're a Raiders fan, like, yeah, you want him to, like, you know, keep that eye on the prize. But again, it just doesn't mean that you always need to say it. Like, that's the thing. You just don't always need to say it out loud. And if you do, you say it to your friends and your family and maybe even your teammates. But like, you know, not everything is you trying to speak something into existence. Like there is a balance of again, you know, when to say things out loud. And that's why I think what Mangini is saying is right. Like you don't need to start comparing yourself to already deeply established players, a deeply established franchise. The Philadelphia Eagles have gone to 3 Super Bowls now in the last 7 years. Right, the Raiders, they haven't done anything in a long time, right? And so again, I love the excitement, and I love the confidence too. I really do, but like, confidence always needs to be balanced with humility, man. Always. Just to kind of go back to the example of me, you know, if I think that I'm better than Nick Wright, it's like I can really believe that. Let's say that that's true, that I really believe that I'm better than all these guys on TV, but like I need to have the humility to understand. But like they've achieved something that I did not, you know, they've achieved something that, you know, that I haven't done maybe yet. Maybe I'm trying to do that. So it's like, I have to accept that. I have to acknowledge that. I have to respect that. And I have to figure out, how do I get there? Right. I can't skip steps just because I truly believe that I'm better than these guys on TV. You know, I have to figure out though, but they accomplished something that I didn't. I gotta go do it, you know? And again, to be very clear, I do not think that I'm better than anyone on TV in that regard. You know, I can't be any more clear than that. So, you know, I just think this stuff always needs to be balanced. And again, not everything, seriously, just not everything needs to be said out loud. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. It's these types of things end up really being binary. People either love them or hate them. People either say like, that's what I want. You know, you can have a coach who's like, no, man, like say less, like a Bill Belichick. And then you have other coaches who are like, that's what I love to see that. I love to see someone fired up and I love to see the confidence. And, you know, fans either love it and fans either hate it. Like statements like this definitely often become very like, just you're on one side, right? Over here or over there. And honestly, in my typical fashion, I see it from both angles. I really, really do, which is like, you know, at the end of the day, my mentality probably ends up being like, you know, I think the belief of that is awesome and, you know, even important to have. But, you know, we learned this as a kid. You know, you don't share it when you're at you know, blowing the candles out on a birthday cake. If you're lucky enough to ever have a birthday cake, maybe some people didn't, but like, you don't wish it out. You don't say your wish out loud. You just kind of keep it to yourself. You just keep it to yourself. And I think this is one of those things that you just keep to yourself, you know? But I get it too. The thing is, these are young guys. They're excited. I could totally see if I was, you know, fortunate enough to be in one of their situations that I would probably be saying some of those same things too, you know, and being like, you know, come get me. We're going to win it all. Like, let's go. Especially because that mentality has gotten you to the spot that you've been in. But, you know, sometimes you need to, you know, let some of that stuff go. But, it's not the worst thing to say either, quite frankly. It's really not. So any of my like critiques are just, it's more commentary than criticism, honestly. But I think at the very least, if you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, like, this should excite you more than it gives you hesitation, because you're gonna have a player that wants to get to work, that wants to get after it. He's gonna seemingly be a fun personality, a great person in the locker room. Like he wants to win. He wants to get it done. He's not just all about the fortune and the fame. And let's face it, there are plenty of players that are all about the fortune, all about the fame. And so, at the very minimum, he seems like he has his head on right. So all in all, positive. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Ashton Jeanty talking about this, and what Nick's saying about how great he'll be pretty immediately with the Las Vegas Raiders? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.